Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Miftahul Hairan, NIM 1713045. Oke, di sini saya akan menjawab soal mid test yang telah diberikan oleh dosen. Adapun soalnya ada 4, yaitu yang pertama, how to construct a good test. Yang kedua, how to design classroom language assessment. Yang ketiga, when the assessment could be practically reliability, validity, authenticity, and flashback. Give some example. Yang keempat, how to assess the listening. Oke, saya akan menjawab yang the number one, yaitu before starting to construct any test items, the test constructor should set down a detail of specifications showing aspects of the skills being fast and giving a comprehensive coverage of the specific language elements to be included. Hayton proposed that a classroom test should be related to the ground cover in the class teaching. Yang kedua yaitu the answer for the number 2. Test types. The first task you will face in designing a test for your students is to determine the purpose for the test. Defining your purpose will help you choose that right kind of test, and it will also help you to focus on the specific objectives of the test. We will look first at two test types that you will probably not have many opportunities to create as a classroom teacher: language aptitude test and language proficiency test, and there are 3 types that you will almost certainly need to create: placement test, diagnostic test, and achievement test. Language aptitude test, one type of that, although admittedly not a very common one, predicts a person's success prior to exposure to the second language. Language aptitude test is designed to measure capacity or general ability to learn a foreign language and ultimate success in the undertaking. Two standardized aptitude tests have been used in the United States: the Modern Language Aptitude Test, or MLAT, and the PIMS Lower Language Aptitude Battery atau PLAB. Both are English language tests and require students to perform a number of language-related tests. The MLT, for example, consists of 5 texts. The number 1, number learning examiners must learn a set of numbers through oral input and discriminate different combination of the numbers. The second, phonetic script examiners must learn a set of correspondence between speech sounds and phonetic symbols. The third, spelling clues examiners must read words that are spelled somewhat phonetically and then select from a list the one word whose meaning is close to the discussed word. Fourth, words is sentence. Examiners are given a keyword in a sentence and are then asked to select a word in a second sentence that performs the same grammatical function as the keyword. 5. Parts associates. Examiners must quickly learn a set of vocabulary words from another language and memorize their English meanings. The answer for number 3, practicality. And an effective test in practical, this means that it is not excessively expensive, stay within appropriate time constraints, relatively easy to administer, and has a scoring or evaluation procedure that is specific and times efficient. A test that is prohibitively expensive if important. A test of language proficiency that takes a student's five 5 hours to complete is impractical. It consumes more time and money that necessary to accomplish its objective. A test that requires individual one-on-one proctoring is practical for a group of several hundred test takes and only a handful of examiners. A test that takes a few minutes for a student to take and several hours for an examiner to evaluate is impractical for mass classroom situation. A reliable test is consistent and dependable. If you give the same test to the same student or match students on two different occasions, the test should yield similar results. The issues of reliability of a test may best be addressed by considering a number of factors that may contribute to the unreliability of the test. Consider the following possibilities: functions is in the student, in scoring, in test administration, and in the test itself. Validity. Before the most complex kind of effective test and arguable the most important principle is validity, the extent to which inference mode from assessment results are appropriate, meaningful, and useful in terms of the purpose of the assessment. Authenticity. And fourth major principle of language testing is authenticity, a concept that is a little cheaper to define, especially within the art and science of evaluating and design tests. Washback phase of consequential validity discussed above is the difference of testing on teaching and learning, otherwise known among language testing specialists as Washback. In language scale assessment, Washback generally refers to the effects the tests have interaction in terms of how students prepare of the test. The last answer yaitu nomor 4, how are listening skill assessed? Listening test typical resemble reading comprehension test. Expect that the student listening to passage instead of reading it. The student that answer multiple choice question that address various levels of literal and inferential comprehension. Important element in all listening tests are the number 1, the listening stimuli, 2, the second, the questions, and the last, the test and environment. The listening stimulus should repeat typical oral language and not consist of simple the oral reading of passage designed to be reading material. The material should model the language that students make typically be expected to hear in the classroom, in various media, or in conferences. Uh, okay, I think enough for me. Thank you very much for watching, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.